pain fast with Sensodyne Rapid Action for clinically proven relief in 60 seconds.
Here at NMG, we are working very hard to ensure your favorite publications, Daily Nation, Business Daily, Taifa Leo and the East African are readily available. In a bid to support the efforts to prevent the transmission of COVID-19, NMG has ensured our staff, our distributors and their staff adhere to set guidelines. At our printing plant, all staff are required to wash their hands before entering the factory and must be wearing a mask. All workers either change their clothes on entering the factory or wear an overcoat. We are keeping doors open to avoid our staff touching door handles repeatedly. With our automated printing, contact with the newspaper is kept to a minimum, and at the packing process, the staff observe social distancing. Vehicles used to transport the newspapers are disinfected daily before the newspapers are loaded, and our delivery staff all wear masks and wash their hands regularly. Our vendors ensure that they sanitize every time they handle money and wear their masks at all times. NMG is proud to be able to safely meet your information needs. Stay safe, stay informed with our favorite NMG publications.
Pishi Home Chef is looking for the best home chef. Are you amazing at cooking that ugali, choma in that nyama, or can you bake that cake that keeps your neighbor awake? Show us your skills in the kitchen by recording a short video or taking a picture of your best dish, or post it on any social media using the hashtag Pishi Home Chef. Then tune in to your world on NTV from 7 a.m. every Friday to discover if you are this week's Pishi Home Chef. Go to pishi.co.ke for more details.
Welcome to Kenya. This is my jam.
You know how we do it each and every Saturday live on your screens.
I, Miss Katiwa, and of course my one and only DJ, the roughest and the toughest DJ Mo, will be on the decks.
This week, live from Kingston, Jamaica, Anthony B himself.
Yaga yo, it's Anthony B, and you can check me out this Saturday, 10 p.m. on NTV Jam Down.
Jam Down KE is the hashtag. I'll see you 10 p.m.
It's beer fire, beer energy, beer vibes. It's all about upliftment, reality, and music.
Salute!
Don't go nowhere.
Let me see the real warrior, pop up chain and break barrier.
This is NTV.
Time for NTV News at One. My name is Debarl Inea. Welcome to the program. Right now, Kenyans are eagerly awaiting to hear from the Cabinet Secretary of the Ministry of Treasury, Ukoro Yatani, who will be tabling this year's budget 2020-2021. And of course, we are also taking a straw poll of what Kenyans are thinking. We shall be giving you a wide scope just to take a straw poll of what is happening in the country and Kenyans' views from all over the country. We want to begin in Kamukunji, where we have our reporter Lillian Carey on the ground right now. What are you learning, Lillian Carey, this afternoon?
I'm at the heart of Nairobi's craftsmanship, the Gikomba market in Kamukunji, and I've been talking to various Kenyans moving from shop to shop, trying to understand what their expectations of the 2020-2021 budget is. And all of them are crying out, President Uhuru Kenyatta, Mr. Ukuru Yatani, kindly give us better terms, actually give us lower taxes, make our cost of living lower. And I've been able to even buy myself an aluminium pot here. And Debarl, if you need to talk to me so that I can get you, you know, a stove. Now that LPG gas, the price of LPG gas will be going up, talk to me. Let me know and I'll get you some, you know, stove and the cover na kishikio, eh? I have a number of people who want to talk to us to tell us the expectations of the 2020-2021 budget. Karibu. What are your expectations in this year's budget?
Kwa majina mimi naitwa Isa Lollipop. Kenya nasema leo bajeti ya leo ikisomwa natarajia wapunguze bajeti ya petrol na wapunguze bajeti ya unga. Waangalie pande ya unga. Unga iko juu sana. Hata wakiangalia sana, waangalie pande ya nyumba pia, hii mambo ya rent. Waangalie hiyo sana. Hiyo ndio na waangalie hii bajeti ya leo.
Maisha imekuaje sasa? Unajua kuna hii pandemic na umekuwa katika hii biashara. Pengine unaweza tuambia umejionea yapi na maisha imekuwa aje?
Maisha imekuwa ngumu tangu hii coronavirus ianze. Juu hata biashara ukiona biashara iendi, hata material haziingii nchini kulingana na mambo ya lockdown. Biashara ya huku hakuna mambo, biashara inaenda mzuri. Kila kitu imesimama. Hata maisha imekuwa ngumu kabisa. Hata pesa ni shida kupata.
I'm joined by another Kenyan who is going to start by introducing himself. Songa hivi ndo wengine waweze kupita. You can start by telling us your name, jina lako, na utuambie uko na matarajio magani katika bajeti ya mwaka huu.
Kwa majina naitwa Jojo Mondi. Mimi ni mfanyikazi wa hapa Jua Kali. Na nimekaa Jua Kali hapa kwa zaidi ya miaka 6 sasa. Na chenye natarajia zaidi kuhusu hii bajeti ya leo, tunataka serikali, especially Uhuru Kenyatta and the Minister for Finance, watupunguzie bei ya bidhaa muhimu kama zile unga, mafuta ya kupika na vitu vingine kama hivyo. Na tena tuko na shida kubwa sana. Tunaona bajeti inasomwa kila mwaka. Kama sasa hii inasomwa 2.7 trillion. Last year it was around 2.1 trillion. And we've never seen any positive impact from all that money. Sasa tujui hii pesa inasomwa kila mwaka inaenda wapi na inafanya kazi gani. Hatujui kabisa, na tunataka serikali tueleze vizuri hii pesa wanasoma inafanya kazi gani. Na tena bado wanaendelea tu kuongeza madeni. Kama sasa hii Kirinyaga anasema tutakopa 800 and something billion. Kutoka wapi? Na already we have 6 point something trillion yenye tunataka kulipa. Tutalipa namna gani kama bado tunachukua tu deni? Si wanaona kama hii Kenya yetu itauzwa? Wanataka kutuuza ama wanataka tufanye namna gani? Tena kitu kingine imenighadhabisha sana kuhusu hii bajeti. Niliona kama Raila ametengewa 71 million ati ya retirement ya nini? Mtu mwenye amefanya kazi kwa serikali kwa miaka kadhaa bado anapewa pesa, na kuna watu wenye wanahitaji pesa, wanahitaji usaidizi kama mimi hapa. Nimetafuta kazi kwa serikali sipati. Sasa sijui ni kwa nini ninafaa kusaidiwa. Kama sasa hii Uhuru amefunga barabara, hatuna wateja kutoka nje. We only depend on customers from other counties like Mwingi, Machakos, Kajiado and other neighboring counties. Na sasa hii hawakuji kwa sababu Uhuru amefunga nini? Amefunga barabara. Sasa wanataka tusaidie na namna gani?
Asante sana. A valid plea, a cry out for Treasury CS Ukur Yatani to consider Kenyans who are earning or who have actually closed down their business. We will be following up particularly after 3 p.m. to get the reactions of Kenyans, and we will air that in the subsequent bulletins. Back to you, Debarl.
Right, many thanks indeed, Lillian Kirinyaga there, and of course you've heard the sentiments from Kamukunji, and Lillian, by the way, also have held my rider. He is on the way, of course, to collect that particular stuff that you've promised me. We want to head over now to Kisumu, where Oko Okusa is standing by, also to give us an update of what members on the ground, or people of Kisumu, are actually thinking about today's budget. What are their hopes and aspirations from Ukur Yatani, the Cabinet Secretary, Treasury. Oko Okusa, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Debarl. And of course, high expectations here from the Lakeside County of Kisumu. Residents here are looking forward to that moment when Ukur Yatani will be doing his 2020 budget for the country. And of course, this is coming at a time when the coronavirus pandemic has sort of caused a strain, financial strain on quite a couple of Kenyans' pockets. And one of them is right here, called Lillian, who used to work for a local SACCO and right now is on forced leave. maybe let us just give her a chance to share with us how she's coping at this particular time. Lillian, what are some of your expectations?
Okay, what I expect maybe is to reduce the taxes on food, basic, that most Kenyans spend most money on food. And what we also expect is that the taxes of the food commodities to be reduced. And then I also expect that job allocations for most youths to be awarded maybe the higher percentage of the budget's money, so that most youth can be employed and can get other things to do in the country, so that they can feed their families and themselves.
Earlier on, you disclosed to me that you used to work for a local SACCO, but you are one of the people who are placed on a sort of forced leave as we wait for the corona pandemic to get through. How are you coping right now?
So right now I've sorted out to business. I sell masks and I also sell charcoal for a basic life. Yes, to get my basic need. Okay. Yeah, that's what I do.
Thank you very much. Let me take a gentleman here. Just start by introducing yourself.
I'm Isaac Atieno.
So share with us briefly, what are your expectations in today's budget?
I hope that the minister in charge of finance is going to bring in whole the budget that will fit all Kenyans, especially as of now when we are dealing with this pandemic. So we hope that the budget will address our concerns.
Okay. What are your concerns?
One, we need infrastructure. Our roads are poor. The ones that the government has done is okay, but we need more roads to be done. As of now, we have more rains and all our roads are washed away. Yes.
Your next point?
Health. We would wish that they put a lot of money in health so that our hospitals are equipped, because now we can not move to China, we cannot go to America. So our America is here. So we need the CS to put in more money in terms of budget and maybe address also the concerns of health workers in terms of the PPEs which they use in their hospitals.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, Debarl, those are some of the sentiments of Kisumu residents. The gentleman there has just touched on road infrastructure and health. And of course, as we speak now, health workers in Kisumu County downed their tools, demanding for salary arrears, promotions, and a raft of issues. And of course, when he talks about more budget allocation towards health, of course, that is something that is close to the hearts of residents in these parts of Kenya, where we've seen people being forced to abandon their hospital beds after health workers downed their tools. That is 3 days ago. Back to you, Debarl.
Many thanks, Oku Kusa there. Of course, health and infrastructure merits their concerns there on the ground from Kisumu. Right now, we want to head over to Nyeri, and also we'll go to Mombasa as well. But let's just begin with Mombasa right now, where we have Kevin Mutai standing by to also tell us more about what is happening in Mombasa, especially when it comes now to, of course, the marine. We want to know what the government is apportioning in that particular sector. Tourism has been adversely affected as well. So how does that fare? Kevin, you heard me.
Well, of course, Debarl, from the coastal city of Mombasa, the region has is popularly known for tourism and hospitality industry, and of course it is a great concern, of course, with the players in the industry eagerly waiting for the government, and to be specific, the Ministry of Treasury today, when the Minister Kirinyaga will be appearing in Parliament to table the 2020-2021 budget. And of course, also remember, this is a particular industry that has really suffered a big thanks to the coronavirus pandemic. Hotels have closed down. Thousands of employees depending on that particular sector have been rendered jobless, and this is because of the outbreak of COVID-19. But of course, we've seen the government proposing some efforts to at least save the sector, and one of them including setting aside 6 billion shillings to help revamp the entire industry, with 2 billion shillings being allocated to renovations of hotels. But of course, it's a major concern also to the residents here, because they want to know what the government has set aside for them, for the small businesses, if at all they're going to get tax reliefs for their businesses, because it is I mean, the pandemic has affected everyone in the region. But of course, let me just quickly, Debarl, engage one of the residents here to just give us his expectations of today's budget. First, introduce yourself, please, and just tell us what are you expecting to hear from Treasury Cabinet Secretary Ukur Yatani.
I expect my name is Jared Nyambane, mkaji wa Mombasa. Katika hii bajeti ya leo inasomwa na msaidizi wa serikali Ikulu Itani, tunaomba angalia upande wa vyakula viko juu, ukiangalia upande wa transports, petroli iko juu, mtu ukipanda gari unalipishwa ile pesa ambayo si ya kawaida ambayo ilikuwa inalipishwa hapo mbeleni. Kwa hivyo tunaomba angalia vyakula viko juu, sukari tulikuwa tunaona kilo moja shilingi 100, siku hizi tunaona 150. Unga kilo mbili tulikuwa shilingi 80, siku hizi ni 150 kilo mbili. Kwa hivyo tunaomba angalia mambo ya vyakula balance, mwananchi wa kawaida anasidi kuumia hapa chini.
Kaunti hii inajulikana pia kama mojawapo wa kaunti kutokana na vivutio vya kitalii. Je, pengine pendekezo lako ama maoni yako, matarajio yako kutokana na bajeti ya leo ili kuweza kufufua sekta hii ya utalii?
Sasa upande wa utalii Mombasa inajulikana upande wa tourist iko juu sana. Lakini ukiangalia hii wakati wa corona ilikuja, mahoteli yamefungwa, vyakula viko juu. Ukiangalia upande wa tourist, watalii walikuwa wanakuja Mombasa, siku hizi hawakuja maana wameogopa mambo na corona na hii mambo ya terrorist vile ilikuwa hapo Mombasa. Lakini tunaomba serikali iangalie upande wa terrorist, iangalie upande wa security iwe tight katika kaunti ya Mombasa, maana ndio naangalia upande wa utalii katika katika Kenya yetu. Kwa hivyo kama serikali tunaomba iangalie sana upande wa security na upande wa vyakula.
Okay, asante sana. It will be also interesting to know how the government will be bringing together resources so as to deal with issues such as the national debt, which is of course is one of the things that has really affected the livelihoods of many Kenyans, but of course also as Debarl, there'll be winners and losers, and of course we'll be eagerly waiting to see which allocations will be allocated to what ministries and of course other institutions within government. So it is wait and see to see going forward what the government is proposing in terms of budgetary allocations so as to revive the country's economy. Back to you, Debarl.
Many thanks indeed. Kevin Watai there from Mombasa. And of course also just to remind you as well, we'll be having the Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of Tourism today on the Leadership Forum to expand on much more on what is happening in the tourism sector, what are some of the relief packages as well that they do have for the sector. That will be at 7:30 tonight. Right, we want to cross over now to Nyeri, where we have our own reporter, Melita Zola Tengez, standing by to just give us also a feel of what is the expectation on the ground as far as the people of Nyeri are concerned. Melita, good afternoon.
Debarl, there are many concerns that have been raised by the people of Nyeri County, ranging from the agriculture sector, health sector, and of course the manufacturing sector. And particularly the manufacturing sector where I am today is that people who are working in this industry are saying that their products, there is no uptake of their products in the market, and this is something they wish that the government would actually consider in the upcoming 2020-2021 budget. Right now, allow me to speak to one of the people working here. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us here on NTV. Perhaps what are your budget expectations, even as the CS is awaited to read it later in the afternoon?
You know very well that we closed sometimes in February when we could not get raw materials from outside the country, and we actually reopened this week. And one of the things I expect from the budget is to support the manufacturing sector, because most of the raw materials we import. I would urge the minister to at least zero rate VAT on imported materials, because when you buy the materials you have actually not added any value. If they can assist us zero rate the imported raw materials for at least 6 months, I can assure you at least we are going to have a little bit of recovery, and we are going to create more jobs and employ young people. Number two, we normally pay land rates and we normally pay licenses to the county governments. And since it's a bit difficult to do with the county governments, if we can get an executive order from the Minister for Finance, such that this year we have not done any business for 6 months. At least the land rates and also the annual licenses we pay, this time they can waiver for us, at least for this year, because we've been paying them all the years. To me, if those two things are done, we'll be able to recover, because import duty, when you're importing raw materials, VAT is a very, very big factor. And if those two things are done, I think we'll be able to recall all our workers and we'll be able to help in the recovery of the economy.
Most of the goods produced here are actually used in the transport sector. Perhaps what do you say about the expectations also from that side?
For one, we are aware that the government cannot open up the whole country. And when, like now, we normally, the kind of items we deal with, they're in the transport sector. At least it's a little bit better because they're registering the new vehicles, but most of the vehicles have not been registered and the sector has not been opened up. And I don't know what the government can do, maybe even for the private sector, for the transport sector, maybe reduction of some cost, like maybe reduction on licensing of also those people in the transport sector to enable them to wake up and start business. Because now, most of the matatus, most of the trucks, they are actually not working. And they're expected to pay a lot of licenses as they start working. So the same thing can be passed on to the matatu sector. Like the county governments, they can waive maybe the licenses the matatu people pay, maybe for the next 6 months or so. This one will enable them to be able to recover. The motor vehicle inspection closed up since March. And for the matatus to go back into work, there are several taxes they pay. And if the government can also say maybe between now and September, when they are opened up, the inspection uses they have opened up, they can also waive the fees that these people have been paying for the last several years. And if they do that within the next 3 or 6 months, the matatu sector will also be able to wake up. The transport sector will be able to revive. And if it revives, it has a ripple effect on us. We'll also be able to manufacture more products and serve the industry.
Thank you so much for your sentiments. Debarl, you've heard it from Ombogonyamu, who's also working in the transport sector, producing speed governors for matatus. And he's saying that right now, matatus have been grounded, and so it's very difficult to make money in the transport sector. You've heard him urging the government to waive some of the fee that they are actually forced to pay because this is what they are required to do to run their business. But he's calling upon the government to waive this fee to ensure that also players in this manufacturing industry are also considered in the 2020-2021 budget. Over to you, Debarl.
Thank you, Militas there from Nyeri, and of course meriting their concerns from Nyeri is the waiver of fees, as just you've mentioned, also land rates, annual rates, import duty, amongst others. But we want now to turn our focus on what is happening at the National Treasury, where we have Victor Kiprop standing by, and of course we eagerly await to see also the minister walking out from that particular building with a quintessential briefcase heading to Parliament as well. Victor is standing by. Victor, what are you learning so far?
All right, Debarl, it's in a few hours from now, probably just an hour and about 45 minutes, the National Treasury CS Kirinyaga will be walking down the stairs behind me for the historic walk down to, of course, before leaving to Parliament to present this year's budget. And from what we are about to show you on our screens right now, the preparations are top-notch. You can see the red carpet has been already rolled out to this edge where the CS, of course, will be boarding his official car. I'm sure, as usual, as per usual protocol, he will be able to stand on the stairs for a few minutes, get a few pictures with the briefcase, and on this other side we have some kind of soldiers trying to, of course, control the flow of traffic around this area, as of course the country prepares for this very, very, very important moment where the National Treasury CS will be presenting his first budget since he was appointed CS for National Treasury last year. Remember, this is very, very, very important because it is the first time that he is doing so in the Jubilee administration. He becomes the second CS after, of course, Henry Rotich served the first 7 years as CS for National Treasury, and he becomes the 15th cabinet secretary, or rather finance minister, the country's 15th finance minister. And of course, in a few hours we will be expecting him to read out or table the country's expenditure plans for this the next financial year, that is the 2020-2021 financial year. Not only expenditure plans, but also how to finance it, which becomes a tricky aspect at this very, very, very moment, considering the ongoing coronavirus pandemic, which is of course reduced revenue collections in the country or depressed revenue collections in the country, and of course giving those heading the National Treasury and the country's coffers the headache of financing such a huge budget, which of course 2.7 trillion shillings will be totaling the government's total expenditures for the next financial year. Of course, added to the rollovers, the final figure of the wider budget comes to 3.2 trillion shillings. So in a few hours, we will be expecting him to walk down. According to the information we have, we believe the National Treasury will be accompanied by the PS, Dr. Julius Muia, and I think 2 other individuals because, of course, of the social distancing issues. And they will, from there, of course, head to Parliament, where we believe about 25 MPs will be allowed to sit in and listen to the presentation of the budget. Again, of course, in trying to observe the social distancing measures or requirements with regards to the coronavirus pandemic. So that is the situation as it is from the National Treasury. As you can see, of course, also members from the press are all prepared, waiting for that very, 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 very important moment when the CS will be coming down from his 14th floor office. We were with him just a few minutes ago, and he, of course, told us that he's ready for this moment. He's been waiting for this moment, and he was just putting the final touches, preparing for this historic moment where they will be reading out the country's 2020-2021 national budget. Debarl.
Victor Kiprop there, and of course we eagerly wait for the CS to come down from his 14th floor and accompanied by retinue, of course, of government officials and the media will be displaying that particular briefcase as well. And of course, we'll go full steam ahead with his proposal for the 2020-2021 budget that we are keeping our eyes peeled on this afternoon. Away from that, in a shocking video that went viral online yesterday, a woman was shown tied with a rope and dragged off by a motorbike by a police officer. She's now nursing wounds at the Ole Nguroene Sub-County Hospital in Nakuru as she retold the traumatizing story. Anita Nkongi has more on this.
Horrific is how one would describe this cell phone video. 21-year-old Mercy Cherono was tied to a motorbike by a police officer and dragged for 200 meters before residents intervened. Retelling the traumatic story as she nursed her wounds at the Ole Nguroene Sub-County Hospital, Mercy says the attack was unprovoked after a group of people confronted her.
Nilikuwa nimekaa kwa baa, wakanipata kwa baa. Nilikuwa ninaketi hapo. Wakakuja wakanitoa kwa baa, wakanichapa. Wakapiga nduru, watu wakakuja kunichapa sasa. Askari akakuja kunichapa.
The officer attached at Ole Nguroene police station, according to Cherono, suspected her of stealing a gas cylinder, a TV set, and clothes from him. Another officer eventually intervened before taking her to the hospital and later to the police station. Mercy suffered a broken leg and soft tissue injuries on the arm, as well as a wound on the head. The area OCPD, Henry Nyaranga, however, contradicts Mercy's claims.
Jana tumechukua statement yake ambaye anasema kweli alipikwa na wananchi na kaokolewa na polisi. Ile mambo ingine tunasoma kwa mtandao ya kwamba alipikwa na polisi na hali yeye anasema ya kwamba aliokolewa na polisi. Inatatanisha mno. Kwa hivyo polisi tunachunguza hayo.
Angered residents in the area are now calling for justice for Mercy.
Na hii ni kitendo enye imeenea katika Kuresoi. Kuresoi yote kimekuwa na shida kama hii.
Askari amepiga huyu mama. Hatutaki kusikia ati amepigwa transfer. Tunataka kuhakikisha yeye amepelekwa mpaka kotini. Na tutafuatilia tuhakikishe yeye amefika kotini. Hatutakubali mambo kama hiyo.
Kama mtoto ameiba, ni vizuri watu wapike ama serikali apeleke kotini aongeleshwe. Na hiyo askari alikuwa anapika mtoto ni askari gani? Alifundishwa achapwe mtoto au?
Anita Nkonge, NTV.
Justice for mercy indeed. And even with the advent of social media, it seems police are still none the wiser as far as serving Wananchi is concerned. The last time we saw such pictures, and I can remember myself, is from the Black Hawk Down, where somebody was being dragged as it is right now. We want to cross over to Nakuru, where Bridget Ngana is, to just tell us more about this. Bridget, this is, the epitome of man's inhumanity to man, if I may call it.
Well, Debarl, I think there's a problem with the audio. I didn't get really what you had asked, but this is a follow-up on what has happened. The lady has since been moved from Olenguruoni Sub-County Hospital and is currently at the Nakuru Level 5 Hospital. She's expected to undergo surgery later on this afternoon, and that is on the right leg, where she did sustain a fracture, and also to clean up some of the soft tissue injuries that she sustained. What has happened also is that this incident has prompted a visit from the Regional Commissioner, George Datembea, who has gone and seen the patient. What we do understand right now is that she is being treated as a suspect, and this is following a robbery in the area that occurred on the 6th of June. The security officials say that this was a mob injustice scenario that was somewhat recorded, but they do not absolve the person riding that border. They say that that is a CID police officer stationed at Olenguruoni, and as at now, we do understand that this police officer is going to be arraigned in court this afternoon to face a number of charges, among them assault for a suspect. But this suspect, Mercy Cherono, is being treated as a suspect. She is being guarded by police officers even at the hospital, and they say that she has already recorded a statement, and once she recovers, she will be arraigned in court alongside 4 other people who are allegedly involved in a robbery incident that took place on the 6th of this month. And that what happened was a mob injustice moment, and she was caught in the melee. What was also going on is that we do understand there are 2 police officers involved. One of them, the one dragging her body, is the suspect, is also being going to be facing disciplinary action later on after he's arraigned in court. It has received a lot of the security officials say that they're not trying to cover up, but as I prepare the story for the rest of the day, or as I compile this report, what you do understand right now is that some of the suspects who are allegedly accomplices to the patient, Mercy Cherono, have been arrested, around 3 of them. And I'll just go ahead and read a statement from DCI on their Twitter page, where they did say that as of this morning, let me just lift that statement right now, that 3 police officers were arrested, and detectives, following a circulation of this clip depicting a woman being whipped and dragged on a motorbike in Kurisoi, South Sub-County. The suspects are lawfully in custody and helping with further investigations. So what the fact is that there was a robbery incident. Apparently, unfortunately, Mercy Cherono was implicated to be among the suspects. A mob injustice scenario ensued. Unfortunately, one of the officers who took part in this mob injustice moment has been arrested. He is going to be arraigned in court, and they do say that further disciplinary action are going to follow following this video clip that has since gone viral. The status of Mercy Cherono is that she's okay right now. She's going to undergo surgery later on in the day on her right leg, and among other injuries that she also sustained during this incident. But I will be preparing a detailed report from the statement from the Regional Commissioner regarding this incident that has really shocked Kenyans by and large.
Shocking indeed, Bridget Ngana. Thank you so very much. And of course, this is a story that will doggedly follow through to see that justice actually for Mercy is realized. And that's very unfortunate indeed. We want to take a short break right now, and then when we circle back, we'll continue with more stories.
Pembe Flour, your most trusted quality brand for over 3 decades, has a new look now. This new pack is available in all leading supermarkets and outlets. It's still the same flour. Great taste, so you can cook and bake all you love with Pembe Flour. Pembe yangu ni poa.
Sonadol Extra imetengenezwa kwa njia spesheli kupambana haraka na maumivu ya kichwa, mwili na hata meno. Sonadol Extra, hakika maumivu yakizidi, pata ushauri wa daktari.
As we battle COVID-19 and adjust to life's new normal, the University of Nairobi encourages you to pursue your career development goals. Applications are ongoing for the June and September 2020 programs for diploma, bachelor's, master's and PhDs in all our campuses with online classes available. Prevent the spread of COVID-19 by following the government health guidelines. The University of Nairobi is a world-class university committed to scholarly excellence.
Jana ulipotea hivyo baada ya kupepa ule mtemu kwa potapota ukaenda hivi. Unajua huyo mrembo alinipeleka hadi kwa nyumba. Nikasema mimi siedi kugulalisha masikio. Nikatapa shughuli.
Jawa, mbona mjipendi?
Kwa nini?
Yaani unawezaje patana tu na mtu kwa street alafu uende ukachapiane naye?
Kalishizo mashine.
Ulitumia raba eh?
Kwani bado mnatumia raba?
Okay, ngoja niulize jamaa. Nani hapa hivi amepimwa hivi majuzi?
Para kwa Mwangi, si ni 10 bob.
Sijasema kupimwa weight. Saa hizi kupimwa HIV ni haraka na ni bure. Unaweza pimwa kwa clinic na bado unaweza jipimia kwa nyumba yako wewe mwenyewe na self test kit 500 peke yake.
Niende nipimwe, nichipate niko positive. Unajua hakuna kitu naogopa kama hiyo.
Kuko na madawa na kuko na counseling na utaishi maisha yako normal tu. Kuko na HIV si eti ni mwisho.
Wewe uko nayo?
Mimi nilishapima.
Unapoendelea kujikinga kutokana na HIV, tafadhali zingatia taratibu zote za serikali za kujikinga na virusi vya korona.
Afya bora, maisha bora. Jipime, jiinue.
Welcome back. We continue pace with the conversation. Now, a section of Kirinyaga residents held peaceful protest in Kutu's town, demanding the Senate to complete ousted Governor Anne Waigoro's impeachment process. The residents, who included traders at the busy Kutu's market, also urged the executive not to interfere with the parliamentary removal procedure, stating that they have suffered for a long time due to poor service delivery from the county government. The protest came barely 48 hours after the embattled governor was ousted by 23 MCAs through an impeachment motion that was tabled and passed at the county assembly. Waigoro has since moved to court to stop her impeachment, with her electoral fate now lying with the Senate.
Tunamuomba rais wetu kwa sababu katika ajenda zake 4 moja ni ya kumaliza ufisadi. Kwa hivyo angalia Senate zaidi, kwa vile Senate ndio inaweza kutuokoa, kwa sababu county imetuokoa, na tunataka ili tulinganishe mambo ambayo imetoka Kirinyaga County Assembly ilingane na ile ya Senate. Kwa hivyo Senate ndio tunangoja ituokoe.
Well, let's buckle down to some sports, and Warado Kero is standing by. And of course, you'll also tell us more about the remarks from IOC President back on racism. What I'm given to understand also the Merriam-Webster dictionary is trying to, redefine racism. Over to you.
Yes, Debarl, a very good afternoon to you, and it's nice to be back. And racism is something that has been going on in the world of sports. We'll be hearing what the IOC president had to say about that. But today is a D-Day, and the impossible will become possible when world and European 1500 meters champions from Kenya and Norway come head-to-head, albeit virtually in a unique race that is part of the Impossible Games. World champion Timothy Cheruiyot and Elijah Manangoi, the 2017 World 1500 meters champion, will line up in the 2000 meters contest at Nyayo Stadium, while Ingebrigtsen brothers, that's Henrik, Philip and Jacob, will test their mettle inside the Bislett Stadium in Oslo, Norway. The clash will kick off at 9:40 p.m. Kenyan time, and the meet, which will feature 13 other events, will be aired by Norway's Omega Productions. Technology will be on display with time splits shown during the race, as well as technical presentation on the speed of each athlete who is competing. Let's talk football, and the holders of Bayern Munich beat Eintracht Frankfurt 2-1 to set up a German Cup final against Bayer Leverkusen. A first half open-up from Ivan Perisic was cancelled by Frankfurt. What are you expecting? What do you think should be happening? For me, on the sports side, I'm hoping that they actually just look after sports a bit better. On the culture side and the arts and heritage side, what do you expect?
But of course, in that big gig economy, we know President Kenyatta also earlier, dispersed 100 million shillings for,
Have you gotten a share?
Not really. I'm eagerly waiting to see what really happens to that. Yeah, but gig economy has been adversely affected. People are not gathering because of a social distancing protocol as it is right now. And we eagerly wait to see what are some of the recovery measures that the government is doing on that particular notion. Despite the fact that we had 100 million, we need more, right? That is just a drop in the ocean, as it were. Right?
I'm glad you said we finally. As the sport, I had to bring in the art side of it because it's the Ministry of Sports, Culture and Heritage. We wait to see what budget day brings for our ministry. Thank you for watching. I am Warothe Kiru.
Fantastic. Thank you, Warothe. And of course, we were talking about safari tour as well. And our own business editor, Julia Zamboko, also will be giving us a safari tour, so to speak, to continue the conversation on budget 2021, which continues after this. So make sure you keep your eyes peeled, as every Kenyan will be looking forward to see what Kuretani has for us as far as this budget is concerned. So keep it NTV. My name is Debarl Inea. Thank you for your valued company. Have a good one.
This is NTV.